Hi friends, we are back on at the Mid-Ohio Historic Doll Museum. We just lost our feed, but we're back. So get back on, keep sharing the video, and we're gonna continue our tour. So we were just in this amazing foyer, which is right here, that has a lot of the more modern mid-century dolls. And then now we are headed into this amazing room that has all of these wonderful, wonderful marionettes. So we're back with Henrietta, the owner of this museum, and she's going to tell us the story behind these marionettes.
Yes, and it is very interesting because a couple years ago a little gentleman called and asked me if I would be interested in a couple, well, he didn't say a couple, he said some Christmas marionettes. And not being able to refuse anything, I said yes. And I was thinking 2 or 3, right. Here he comes with 38. They are 3 feet tall, and they are all hand-carved wooden heads, hands and feet, of course flexible bodies, so that they can be moved, arms, etc., just like all your marionettes.
Oh my goodness.
And my gosh, well of course when we got them they weren't quite this nice. They were soiled and the clothing was disheveled, and so Sharon and I spent the whole winter getting them ready for display. And this is the result of all of our hard work. Now just for a second, as you all know this story of Scrooge, its storyline begins on this little vignette here with the Scrooge. He's got the brown top hat there, and he's walking down the street on Christmas Eve. Of course, everybody you know is after Scrooge for money because, well, he was a tightwad. There's a little beggar behind him with his handcuffed.
Help the poor.
The churchmen there looking for money for the poor. And of course, you know, poor Bob Cratchit, he had to work. He's sitting there behind his desk, behind the little Christmas tree here. And he didn't even get off on Christmas Eve. That's the story of Scrooge for sure.
We love the story of Scrooge. And so when you got these marionettes, there was only one thing you could do, which was fix them up and display them.
Oh, I had to do that, yeah. And of course you see in this little vignette Scrooge, when he finally went to bed that night, and he was, of course, visited by his dead friend Jacob Marley on the far right, with all of his chains and weights.
So much fun. Is this one of the favorite rooms of visitors?
Oh, people absolutely can't believe this. And of course the 3 ghosts come then, of course, to take Scrooge on his night excursions. And then all of those on that side are all of the places he visited in his mind that night. You know, where he worked, his different people that he knew and loved, and was when he had happier times. Let's put it that way. Of course, we all know that when he woke up Christmas morning, he was a changed man.
He was.
He looked out the window and told the boy to go get the prize turkey. And I must show you the prize turkey because it took us forever to find one like that. And as you can see, it's right there in the center. The little boy holding the big prize turkey.
Oh, there it is.
And then he takes it to the Cratchit family at the far right, and they are eating the prize turkey.
How fun. Oh, there's the prize turkey.
Yeah, there's the big prize turkey. And of
so
course,
much
we
fun.
can't miss little tiny Tim. He is the little boy over there by the table with the earmuffs and the crutch. He
So
is
sweet.
Sort of very important in the story of Scrooge.
How wonderful.
What a wonderful work of folk.
And I love the background.
This is.
You did a very good job with that background as well. Yes, this is a testament. These are marionettes are fun because are they a doll? Are they a toy? Are they an artifact?
Yes, they are. And of course, I do have this gentleman's original script, and that's what helped me to get things put together right. And he said it took 12 different individuals to put this little play on. And so in those days they didn't have videos, but oh, how great it would have been to see a video of this.
How great it would have been.
Of course, this is the gentleman right here. He's 90 years old this year, and his name is Richard Mclean.
Oh, how great. I'm sure he is just so tickled pink to know that his body of work is displayed here in such a wonderful, beautiful way that people can still enjoy.
He was. When he came to see them after we had them up, he was just beside himself. He just couldn't believe they looked so pretty and that we did so much work to make them look so nice.
You did a lot for him.
And of course, you know, the ventriloquists like Charlie McCarthy, etc. So we have several different types of puppets and things here in the museum, which I will point out as we go along.
If you're tuning in, share the video. We're here with Henrietta at the Mid-Ohio Historic Doll and Toy Museum, and she is giving us a private guided tour. I have not been on the tour, so we are experiencing this together. Oh, the chinas.
Yes, that's a very nice collection of chinas, dating in here from the 1860s up through early 1900. And they are all original, except for a couple of Mclears in there. She was quite important also.
She sure was.
But it's just so interesting. You know, chinas are dated by their hairstyle. And so that's one of the things I like to point out to people is that if they were to bring a doll in, a china doll, I could tell them from what era it's from, just by the way the hair is designed.
Can you tell us about this beautiful one that has the flowers in her hair?
Mm-hmm. That's the Morning Glory. She is a prize, and she is one that everybody just loves and hopes to get. And I remember just wanting her so badly, and finally I was able to find one.
Everyone wants a Morning Glory china head. She's just absolutely stunning.
Of course, because we have the bonnet head chinas and so forth in there, I decorated with the hats, just to kind of carry the theme throughout. So
bonnet head china dolls and the ones that have the different kinds of hats molded into their head are just, I love them. They're so much fun. Oh, and you have a fun reference library.
Yes, I do a lot of appraisals, and of course the little dollhouse rooms are so special. Those are the Spielwaren, and they're not that old. They're from the 60s. From Germany. Beautiful.
Beautifully made.
Oh, I love those. They're so pretty. But then we have the antique little rooms here in the front, which I even love more because I love antiques.
A lot of people are tuning in, love antiques, so we're looking at this circa 1879 display. Please comment. We are here live with Henrietta, and we are having a wonderful guided tour from here in Ohio. Henrietta, you've worked very hard over the years to make your dolls accessible to the world, and you wanted to do that a lot because when you were young, dolls were not easily accessible to you.
For sure. A little farm girl. I only could see them in the catalogs because I'm from that era, which is pretty old, long time ago.
Well, what a wonderful thing to do. You have a little bit of everything, even G.I. Joe.
Oh, yes.
Here's some of Henrietta's achievements. Look at this. You were in the Times. Doll Show supports museum exhibits. What a beautiful picture surrounded by all of your dolls.
Of course, now this is really kind of the main part as we start in the museum. We have a nice little tribute here to Jackie Kennedy. And this again gives children an opportunity, or I should say grandmothers, to teach their children about history. Because I always say dolls are just historical statements. And we are also educational and cultural here, just as the Kennedys are a great part of our American history and culture.
Very much.
And of course, you know, John Kennedy, 60s, well, to me that was like yesterday, but it's ancient for the children who come in. They've never heard of John Kennedy.
Very important for them to learn about.
And they will study it in American history, but now they have a little head start on it. Of course, we have, you know, reference to many classic stories here, and these are not old dolls. These are the Gone with the Wind, but you know, they were so beautifully done that I just had to show them.
Oh, they're beautiful.
And of course, you know, like a complete set. I mean, even Mammy and Prissy in there, and little Bonnie Blue, and
oh, the mammies are fabulous.
of course, I love Belle Watling. She's she was a real floozy.
So here we go. This is an Alice in Wonderland. Now, are these all made by Faithwick?
Yes, they are. And this is, well, I think when she was at the top of her line as far as designing. She took them from the story of the original Alice. And if you remember that story, they were kind of mean looking in that book. And matter of fact, that's why I didn't like the book as a child. I thought they were kind of scary. Now, another history lesson, as we will look at in a moment, up on the top shelf, we do have on the left side the puppets, I should say. Yeah, they are the puppets from the WPA, of course, made in the 1930s. And the interesting thing, and I will show you a little later about that, is they are made out of newspaper. And, of course, their hands and feet are wooden. But to see them in this condition is wonderful. And the little Red Riding Hood set in the center is just mint. And I do have another mint set in the next room, which I will share with you because I'm so proud of these things.
And those are WPA?
WPA.
You're kidding.
And they're so hard to come
Look
by.
at those, everybody. Those are incredible. I have only seen WPA dolls with the yellow yarn hair, the very typical looking ones.
Yes, yes. These are so different. And they were made in Philadelphia.
For the Work Progress Association,
Yes.
these are incredibly rare. What an opportunity to see these. I didn't even know they made puppets.
Oh, I know. A lot of people don't. And, you know, but there was a part of the WPA that put the artists to work. Now, some people are familiar with the murals and things that were put on walls. Of course, you're seeing another R. John Wright little
We love R. John
display.
Wright.
Oh, I love him, yeah. Now, I don't know if you want to take a minute to look at
Sure.
that case, but that is some of the newer dolls, some of the better known, and I should say very, very professional artists. For example, the little girl on the horse. I mean, how realistic. What a great artist it would take to create something like that. And all of them in there are just exquisite.
I agree.
Now, something kind of different. A lot of people don't know this or have maybe never seen them, but this lady from New Zealand made those, and they are in the far right corner. And what's so interesting about them is they're molded together. The mom and child and the dad and child.
Oh, look at that. They are.
And it's so interesting because I don't think that they've done this here in the States, but the artist from New Zealand did create those.
Extremely
But I got
realistic.
a lot of other favorites in there as well. So beautiful, so well done. So many well-known artists are in there.
We have
Just
Lady
fun.
Diana.
Yeah, Lady Diana, you have a collection.
Oh, a little tribute also to the royal family in England. And what is so interesting in that case are those little miniatures in front of Princess Elizabeth. And those are Prince Charles and Princess Anne as children.
Peggy Nesbitt's.
And I love those. Those are the artist dolls of the little kids.
Love the dresses and the accessories right there.
Oh, they made such beautiful things of Diana.
If you guys are just tuning in or you're here with us, please, please, please share the video. We're here with Henrietta, who is the owner of this amazing museum out here in Ohio. And we have such a special treat and opportunity because we are taking a live guided tour of this museum. Oh, it's Christmas.
This is Christmas from 1900 up through about the 1950s, although I did sneak a couple of 1960s items in there. It's just a nice overview showing what children played with throughout the years and how different they are, how the materials have changed, the style of making things, etc. So we've even got a life-size reindeer in there.
He is wonderful. My mother has two studio reindeer in her dining room, if you can imagine.
Wow. Super, super, yes. And of course, behind you, you see the train display, and because we like to think of everybody here, boys and
Of
just
course.
as well, boys and men. And there are actually 4 trains. So we had very limited space to create this train display, but we managed to get 4 of them on there, and we have a lot of fun with them. They've had a lot of miles on them.
Oh,
since
I'm
we've had them.
sure. I can just imagine the delight of
The children
girls
love to
and
see-
boys to see
Yes,
see
yes.
these running on their tracks.
They do. Of course, this also refers to the boys, you know, the nice G.I. Joe collection and the Star Wars.
Look at this. How much fun. This is Star Wars and the G.I. Joe at the Mid-Ohio Historical Doll and Toy Museum.
Very nice collection there of G.I. Joe. Some of the harder ones to find.
Oh, yes. Oh, and they're in beautiful condition. I'm sure those are some extremely rare outfits. Uh-oh, this is an exciting case.
The collection of cloth dolls is
Cloth,
wonderful.
Cloth is definitely one of our very, 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 very favorites. Oh boy, everybody look over here. Look at that.
You see the Isana Walker.
Oh, we sniffed her out right away.
Yes, and of course Molly Bentley there. She is wonderful.
Oh, wow.
And that large doll in the corner there, you know, that's the Stanton Doll that was made of Isana Walker. It does have a little resemblance to her.
Little
but
bit.
Remember when the post office came out with all those
Sure
Stanton
do.
dolls? That was, she represented the Isana.
Too bad they didn't just use a real Isana
Exactly.
in the picture.
Yes.
The doll people would have loved it.
Much more.
That topsy-turvy's in incredible condition. Of course, everything is in beautiful condition.
We
that
have
you have.
Stife, Kathy Cruz, of course, more WPA, the Shepherd baby or Philadelphia baby, Chase, and even the little Chase with the bobbed hair. Had a heck of a time finding her. The Lynchies, my, they're just all in there. We've even got one of the local Presbyterian dolls from Bucyrus, Ohio. They created those dolls to help support their church.
Little sweet camkins. You have a Stife soldier over there in the back. And then those WPA dolls right there are the ones that when you think of, yes.
They are from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I did have some information in the other room before we changed this where Eleanor Roosevelt had visited that unit up there, and I have pictures of Eleanor with holding those dolls. Now the interesting thing about the WPA dolls, which I will show you in this next case, they all were made of international people. And we have here something quite rare. And they are the, well, yes, your little piggies. Look at the
Oh my
condition
gosh,
of
I
this.
cannot believe these.
Oh, it is just incredible. To find something
And the
like
big
that.
bad wolf.
Yes. from the
Henrietta,
30s.
these are amazing.
They're just, they've never been used.
No.
They were just stored away. And, I mean, you know, it's a shame they weren't used, but when you think about it for a museum, this is a prize.
This is a prize. If you're tuning in, these are WPA. I have never seen caricatures like these that are so animated and so whimsical, and they're in such incredible condition.
They are.
I'm learning.
They are so beautiful. And then down on the bottom shelf, you're going to see from Wichita, Kansas, and of course all WPA is very well marked. And of course you'll see on the front of these the country that they represent. So they're marked the country and WPA and Wichita, Kansas on their little stands.
Oh my goodness. You must have one of the largest collections of WPA dolls
Probably, yes.
around. I mean, I've never seen so many in one spot. I love this.
They are so great. And remember I told you the ones from Philadelphia were made out of newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
Well, up on above there, the first one that I got was the wolf and piggy. And if you look at the wolf's nose there, you will actually see.
Oh, look at that. You can see the newspaper underneath.
newsprint. Yes, and so it's incredible. They just took newspaper and cut it in strips and used it as paper mache. And what artists to have created such beautiful, beautiful pieces. I'm in love with those.
I'm in love with them too. That's one of the reasons why I think we love sometimes cloth dolls and folk dolls, is because it's amazing what you can make out of so little.
Oh, it is. Yes, yes.
People are going, but some of our viewers are absolutely vapor locking over these right here. they are just amazing.
Of course, we have cases that are just fun also, not just history, but fun. Of course, you know from Ohio, we do have John Glenn, so that's a nice little tribute.
Now, he was the first person to go to the moon, right?
Yes,
Yep.
But on the bottom shelf, you're going to see some real characters.
Fun.
Carol Burnett, you know, and her little skit when she came out dressed in the curtain dress.
Gotta love Miss Piggy, Carol Burnett. Yeah, there's great. Oh, I see Lucille Ball in there. Fun.
Yeah, the Three Stooges. Oh, there's a whole bunch of characters in there. And we'll do the trains last. That's in
that room, okay.
Different rooms, but now I'll have to give you a little bit of background on the museum. This room is quite small. When I opened the museum, of course, this was my gift shop. And I only had these rooms behind me as part of the museum because all of the rest of this was my husband's office space. Of course, he built the museum thinking, well, you know, for his offices, and that I would probably be here about 6 months. Well, that's been like about 35 some years ago.
Love it.
And that's the reason why you see so many little different rooms, is because it was all his office space. But as time went on, I took over. And then, of course, they had to move out. But he was so supportive of the museum. Bless his heart. Was a wonderful guy.
He sounds like a wonderful man. What was his name?
He was. His name was Herb.
Herb.
Yeah.
And he
this
always
place-
supported your doll collecting.
Always. From
Well,
the
he
beginning.
helped build you a museum.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
Wonderful.
was there for me all the time.
Oh, we
And
love
this
him.
Great little Disney collection. There.
This is
Those
beautiful,
early,
yeah.
yeah, those are the early ones that first came out in the 30s, right after the movie came out.
And you have Snow White
The
back
Little
there.
Dwarf, yeah.
Full set.
And then there's just so many. We got the original Mickey Mouse in there and Donald
Oh, look,
Duck.
Shuko.
Oh, aren't those adorable?
Those are so adorable.
Oh, I love those. I just recently got those.
Oh my gosh, they are amazing.
I never stop looking, even though as you can see, the cases are so full. It's just unbelievable.
Oh, Henrietta, we're with doll people now. So more
Yeah.
is more. You're doing the right
Oh,
thing.
thank you. I just can't, I just can't get enough. Every time I see something and I don't have, then it has to go in here. So we have some artist dolls. Those little rare piggies. Oh, those are special. Those are early key wines.
Which ones?
Right there on the top. The little piggies with like Uncle Sam and the other one with
Oh,
the
look at
rider
those.
on
Those
them.
are key wines. Oh, I love his
Early
expression.
1900s.
Wonderful.
I love these kind of things. As you will see, this museum, I'm telling you, you cannot look anywhere in here without seeing something.
This museum is incredible. Here's Bapsville, everybody.
Oh my, this
Look
is
at
one of my
this.
most favorite little things. The Baps were created by Edith von Arps, the lady that had lost her family, as I understand, during World War II. And one of the ways she was trying to support herself was making these beautiful little creatures. They represent fairy tales and nursery rhymes. And it's kind of sad because I've discovered when the little children come in, they do not know nursery rhymes.
Oh,
They do not know. If I say Peter, Peter, Pumpkin Eater, they have no clue
what it is.
how to finish that because they have never heard of these nursery rhymes. And that little black Samba one there, to die for. Oh, but she did such
To
a
die
beautiful
for.
job. She even had their little feet was little tiny metal feet that she had molded. It's just incredible.
Just
But I got so many
wonderful.
one of a kinds. Oh my gosh!
The
you
Edith
are-
Ackleys are wonderful.
Oh, well, let me tell you that story. That is the original little doll that she used to promote her book.
Oh, wow.
And you see that picture behind her, the watercolor? That was her sister who drew that, who was the illustrator of her book.
Oh my
So
gosh.
the book, of course, was called How to Make Dolls for Fun and Profit. And what a find that was. I mean, I didn't even realize what I had when I had bought that. But
That
it
is
so,
a
yeah.
treasure, an absolute treasure.
Yeah.
Diane Deagle, she's amazing, and her dolls
Oh.
usually look like this, but is this one by her as well?
Yes,
Wow.
oh, that the artist.
He's incredible.
And what you can tell what an artist she is. If you see that photo of that baby and then look at that baby, it is just an exact likeness. So she really was a true artist.
Here we have Lois Sorensen, who is a very famous Niata wax artist. How wonderful.
Yeah, that was kind of like his Gibson wedding ladies and
Oh, we just love them. The costumes. Look at the gown on this bride. She's just wonderful. Anne Marie said, amazing collection. Thank you for saving so many dolls.
oh, thank you for sharing them. You might think you're finished, but you really are just
Oh, but
now starting.
we haven't even looked in here.
Oh yeah, Baby Snooks, of course. You have to be my age almost to remember her, but that's Fanny Bryce. She had a radio program in the 30s. Of course, most of this, is all early.
Wonderful.
Early stuff.
We love the early composition. They are so much fun. Who is that?
He's a baseball player, and I
Fun.
don't know who he was made to represent, but he's one of the early ones.
Love the black scoodles.
Uh-huh.
Wonderful.
Oh my, I'm so proud of that little vignette of Theodore Roosevelt.
Oh my gosh,
there
is this
when
showing
he-
hot?
Yes, and that's when he visited, he had the African safari. And so I made that little vignette to kind of give you that flavor.
Oh, vignettes are so much fun because you can just really get your imagination going and you're just seeing them in action. Hope you guys can kind of see that behind the glass. These are all wonderful showing huts, and that Teddy Roosevelt has to be exceptionally rare.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
Wonderful.
And of course, the P. Buckley Moss. She just made a few dolls, and that's her first set that she made to represent the Amish. And she chose to put faces on her dolls. But the true folk art Amish, as you know, do not have faces. So
Right.
very, very
Right.
much fun.
Yep.
But oh my goodness, you're just going to get into the good stuff here.
Oh, just getting into the good stuff. Did you hear that, everybody? She said we're just going to get into the good stuff. If you guys are tuning in, we're on part 2 of our tour here in the Mid-Ohio, out here with Henrietta at the Mid-Ohio Historic Doll and Toy Museum. Everything in here has been phenomenal. We're seeing a little bit of everything. So please share the video and please comment. You guys are here live with us and Henrietta can answer your questions.
Oh, for sure.
And if you guys would like to visit, it's only $3.
Yes. I forgot to mention the original Scarlets from the 30s.
Oh, look at those.
By Madame Alexander. They're all original except the one dress we had to recreate, but the other dresses are all original. That's another story I love, Gone with the Wind.
Oh, who doesn't? And Scarlett and Alexander, of course, are just some of the most favorite dolls. Gotta love the dress made out of the green drapes.
Of course, since the setting took place during the Civil War, those are actually new soldiers, but they have the original and very like costumes of the officers of the Civil War.
Yeah, some historical.
And some memorabilia there, because being an old ex-school teacher, I'm always trying to teach people something.
Love it. Every single nook and cranny of your museum has something significant on the wall. We're learning so much. Oh boy.
As I
Okay,
say,
everybody, get your oxygen.
You're just beginning.
Get your oxygen. Oh my goodness, where are we even gonna start? Look at this circus.
Oh, that's a show hunt circus.
Okay, where do you
Early
want us to start?
1900s.
Because I'm just gonna go bananas and start going in circles.
I know it's very hard. Well, let's just go case by case.
Perfect.
We'll just start with the first one there, which on your, okay, that one is great. It's just got some little German girls.
We love
What
German
I've tried
girls.
to do is represent many, many different companies that made these German dolls. Of course, people who aren't familiar with the dolls, they think they all look alike, but once you get into it, you can recognize the manufacturer. So you do have to be pretty knowledgeable, but what fun it is.
Oh, and they are. And you can recognize a face, but they all look different.
Yes, they really do. Some wonderful things in there, some little toys. And of course,
We see some Jamots and so you got a little bit of everything in here. Yes.
And just a lot of a kind of an assortment in that particular case with some toys on the bottom. And that's a real American Indian doll in there. And then there is also a new Indian doll that someone donated, and it's Sacagawea. And of course, we have that because, you know, the Girl Scouts are always reading about Sacagawea, so they do love that.
So wonderful.
It is so amazing. But as I say, you cannot look anywhere in here, up or down, and not see
something wonderful.
Something very important.
You
yes.
you have a little bit of everything, and
very
it's
eclectic.
just how much fun have you had over the years building this incredible body of work out here?
It has been a real challenge, and I have loved it.
It's a lot of work. It's an
just-
incredible
yes,
amount of work.
It is. This case is so wonderful with all of these rare French pieces in here. You've got this beautiful piano baby from 1886 in mint condition. It plays 4 different melodies, and of course it's written on the back of the piano. But since it's in French, I can't read it.
Oh.
But now this Jameau is attached to this.
Really?
And so when you key wind her, she will move her little hands across the keys, and she moves her head toward you. So it is indeed a prize. I mean, it was the top of the line even back in 1886.
Oh, of course.
And another special thing in there, that little armoire, which is just full of linens.
Just wonderful.
And then on the back of the door of the linen, it says all of the linens you should have in your closet. Unfortunately, my linen
Love that.
closet
Mine doesn't look like that. No, but we will. The dolls get the very best.
Yes, yes. And of
Look
course,
at
we have little toys interspersed throughout the museum, and that's why the men love it so much too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that Amos and Andy car down there. That is just too great.
Oh, look at that. That must be by Marks.
It's a complete. Well, I don't even know who made that. Kind of think of it.
It is
I'd have
neat.
to check and see, but it is so great. Yes.
Neat.
And
There's some Kewpies nestled back there. You have some
a
Americana.
little bit of everything. Of course, we have a few half dolls up here also. Yeah, we just tried not to lose anything. Oh, this is a fun case because I give the people the challenge to pick out the two sisters in this case.
In this case, you will see two sisters. I bet our viewers could pick them out pretty quick.
They probably can if they are familiar with dolls.
Look at these wonderful chinas. Our viewers are just going bananas just like we are.
Oh, these little babies are Baby Jean. They are actually named after the little children who owned them back in the early 1900s, Baby Jane and Baby Nell.
Wow.
And I do have a friend who visits me from Japan, Miyuki. She always brings me a doll when she comes back.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yes. And that was her original little doll right there. It was her very own when she was a child. I think that's probably considered a little girl's day doll.
Oh.
And of course, there's some early paper mache in here. Very, very nice pieces. You really, in this museum, I'll tell you, it's packed. You really have to search to see everything in here.
But for a doll person and doll people are
it's
watching,
eye candy.
that's the
Yeah.
best, right? That's
I
the
love
best.
it. Yes, they do. Of course, you know, I'm always emphasizing history, and Columbus, Ohio is the home of the first history in the United States. Well, this little case will help you to remember that little bit of history. And there's the school teacher on your left there with all of the little people going to school. Of course, in the good old days, you know, the teacher always
Look
had
at
her
that.
desk in
How much
front,
fun.
and her back was always to the children, and that's why the little boys could get by with dipping the pigtails in the inkwell, as they say.
Yes, and I would be so furious. So is that an artisan A-mark?
That is that's an artist A-mark. Yes, that is not the original, but that one is a very special one, and she's just beautiful, and she does just look exactly like the one there in the picture. So
yeah.
I was pleased just to get that.
Right, it's a wonderful representation.
Yes. And we have some one-of-a-kinds like that, some mint-in-the-box pieces.
You guys are tuning in,
the
share the video.
Steiners,
Oh
yeah.
yes, the Steiners.
Steiners and the,
We love the French bisque dolls.
oh, they're so
Just
gorgeous.
glorious.
Yes. Of course, we got some nice character dolls there in the corner, on the bottom and the top.
Oh, look at the flocked-haired Peter there in the back. He's wonderful. And you have a Gretchen 114. You have all kinds of wonderful characters in here.
Oh, they are fun and beautiful.
Wow. Oh, look at, oh, that's a, is that a Carl? That's a 104?
Yeah, that's one of the rare ones.
Oh, that is a very rare doll, everybody. Wonderful. Well, actually, every doll in your museum is rare. Look at these wonderful googlies.
French fashions.
Mom,
in
is your
here.
heart just going pitter-pat?
No. Going pitter-pat.
It's going pitter-pat.
And I love that little French sedan chair there.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I just love little things like, and all the little tchotchkes in there. That's what makes it so much fun, is look at all those little, and sometimes I put things in there just because they make you laugh. For example, this little googly, I have no idea where it came from, who made it, and it was just so cute.
Oh, he's so funny.
He ends up
Love
in
his
here.
mouth. Can you tell us about this wonderful fashion that has this very interesting face right here?
That's a brew, and that is
Okay.
one of the Autoperipaticas, so she is a walking doll.
Really?
From the other,
Oh my
middle
gosh.
1800s, and I've just poked so many things in front of her, you can't see her little walking
Oh,
feet.
goodness. With the bisque arms, she is
yes.
phenomenal. Oh, I love her.
Yeah, this see that's a large brew back there. The fashion, and of course, I think that's a Gemot in the center there. Of course, that's a little Heubuck over here on the right. I love those faces.
Love those. Wonderful with the bonnet with the little fluted out sides. It's just so, those get chipped so easily. It's just so wonderful to see it. Now this next case has all kinds of wonderful dolls. That looks like a Brujoon.
Yes,
That's a large
nice
one.
size.
Yes, a nice large size. She must be, what, 40 inches tall almost.
Probably not quite that tall. In the 30s, probably 32, 35. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And of course, that doll there in the brown with the gold braiding in the center there is, well, we call her the cage doll. She is you know, probably early 1700s, wonderful doll.
Wow.
They call her the cage doll because, of course, you know, the men were the master carvers, and because the legs would be covered up, they didn't want to carve the legs, and so even my picture's gotten covered up, which shows the little stand that it's on, and it looked like a bird cage, and so that's why they call it the cage doll. But we have some other really early wooden pieces, and this little doll will show you how they are articulated.
How fantastic. I love when a doll has a doll.
Of course, some beautiful wax pieces in there, some wax over.
The wax truly are survivors, aren't they?
Oh,
they
yes,
made it.
People are always saying, how do you survive if you have a wax doll? Well, you know what? They're not quite as fragile as people think they are.
I agree.
I don't know what the melting point is, but, you know, it's amazing.
I've never had one melt.
Yeah. Of course, you're seeing a beautiful French girl.
Oh, she's phenomenal.
She's the AT.
Look at that.
Steiner. Slipped a little German girl back in the back there. I just love her face.
She's at a 949, it looks like.
I think that might be it, yeah.
She's sweet. There's a little, is that another Steiner right there? You can tell the
Yeah,
Steiners
and
from the eyes.
Steiner, I love the Steiners, and of course that looks like a Jumeau there on the left.
Yes.
But this is the things that I like.
Ooh, look at the little miniature Steiff teddy bears. Those are fantastic.
And that little mechanical guy, of course, gets some other little fun stuff down here on the bottom. You can see how I poke everything.
Oh, it's
in
so
there.
much fun.
So full of everything. And of course, over here, where I say we have our bad dog. He eats up our old shoes.
Oh, that's just like mine. She does that to the house cleaner shoes.
But there are some
cute.
fabulous pieces in here. The long face Chameau, the mine leaving brew. What else do we have in there? I think it's an Eden baby back in the back. Oh, it's one of those kissing, whatever they call them.
The waltzing,
Waltzing,
kissing.
talking, kissing, whatever.
We're just giving a quick pan up here. There's some wonderful dolls
Yeah,
up top.
They're everywhere. You can't look anywhere in here without seeing something fabulous.
Okay, everybody, now get ready for this case.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh, that brew is so fabulous.
Oh, yes. Well,
Dressed
there's
as like-
more than
like
one in here.
Napoleon. Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh, there are several in here.
Your brews are magnificent. Look at this costume.
Isn't that fabulous? It's original, all original.
I have never seen a costume like that.
Well, those
Breathtaking.
brews, I think that little brew has the most beautiful, haunting face back there.
Oh, she does. Brews still are the Cadillac of dolls in the French dolls, and they're just, there's nothing like a brew. There really is not.
And some toys. We have those little toys, the little mechanical pieces here. I had to put her in there, the nun, because she's all original, and I just love dolls.
She's looking after them. Yes.
I didn't see this case yet.
Yes, so we're going to now, Henrietta, can we see this case right here?
Yes, you certainly
Look at this,
can.
everybody.
This is one of our large cases that has many types of dolls, German dolls. But this one just is so fabulous because it's just like walking into a store in the 1920s and looking at that doll is just crisp, the bow and everything. So to see a little mama doll like that, wow.
Yep, definitely for your
Oh.
museum.
Of course, you know, French fashion, they're just every corner that you look at. When I design the cases, that's my whole point,
look at
is not to have one space that isn't full of something.
And I just love what you've done. They're not just standing there. They're all doing something. They're all in a vignette. It's so playful and fun.
Oh.
This Humpty Dumpty Circus, these
Yeah.
are incredible.
Albert Schoen had up there that picture, you know, when he first came to the United States and landed in Pennsylvania, and that's where he made all these wonderful things.
Look at
Of
that.
course, that little doll in the trunk there, that's a little Steiner, and she is something else.
Oh, look at her.
It's a key wind, and she actually moves her legs and arms and her head side to side and says Mama, Papa. It is a very rare piece, and I got her with that trunk, and I'll never forget it. I was at UFDC, their national convention in Atlanta, and I bought that without thinking, how am I going to get that home? Oh boy. The airline finally ended up making a box for it so that it could
Wow.
be shipped. I had no other way of getting it here. Anyway, And that was a few years ago, of course.
Well, she's very
But
happy
there's so
here.
many things there. People
Look
love
at
that big
these.
doll in the back row there. That is a Chad Valley.
Oh my goodness, no way. That's the biggest one I've ever seen.
She's gorgeous.
Gorgeous. This teddy bear, I know my mom is totally pining after. Isn't he wonderful, Mom?
I gotta tell you his name. That's Harvey Wallbanger.
Harvey Wallbanger. I love his name.
That was donated by a lady who was moving to Florida.
Oh my gosh.
She wanted her bear to be safe. She just was afraid to take it to Florida with moisture and things like that down there, the bugs, and so she said he's got to be here. And he is fabulous. Just
He is
fabulous
fabulous.
piece.
Oh, I just want to smooch him.
Cinnamon bear.
Yeah, he's just
Lovely,
fantastic.
lovely,
love, love,
lovely,
love.
And these beautiful, I love these kinds of early
We
folk
love
art
cloth.
dolls too. What a special little prize.
Look at the
those
painting
are.
on those. Just wonderful.
And so that's kind of just a real quick view of the main antique room here. And of course, you see everything is full.
Look at
There's
that Eloise.
Eloise, that's the original
She's
one.
huge.
Is she not big? She's
Wonderful.
She's the 42-inch one.
Oh, I didn't even know they made one that big. I've said that a
she's
lot in your
huge,
museum.
yeah.
I didn't know they made one.
Well, you'll see a lot of things here that probably you haven't had an opportunity to see before. So
Oh, your collection
We just
is
love
just
it
out
that
of
you're
this
here.
world. We have a lot of people tuning in right now. They are just gushing and enjoying and seeing. If you guys are in Ohio, you can actually come here and see these magnificent dolls in person.
What kind of timeline does she have? Because we've got
She
two
has
more
all
rooms.
day. She has all day.
Oh, okay. We have several rooms, Rachel.
Henrietta was just
You won't
asking.
believe this.
She said, what's the timeline? Are you guys enjoying this? Because if you're having a good time, I'm having a good time. Henrietta's having fun. We're going to keep going because there are more rooms. More rooms. We're going to turn it around. So Henrietta, this is just so much fun. What are we going to see next?
Well, are you ready for this? We're going to see Barbie Land.
Barbie Land.
Yes,
Oh,
Barbie Land. And we've even got a 6-foot Barbie in Barbie Land.
no way.
Yes, so come on in and
Barbie Land.
take a peek here.
Are you guys ready to go to Barbie Land?
And of course, we have the original Barbies.
Oh,
The ones 1959.
my
A couple of
gosh.
those in there.
Look at that. The number one right there, of course.
Yes. And this is also a number one here. And then that's the first box that they released her in
Really?
before it ever got popular. It's faded a lot. It was actually pink and black. So you can see how over the years it has faded.
Phenomenal.
And of course, this is the lily, the German lily that the doll was designed from.
Right.
So
Yes,
everybody
those are
knows
so
that
hard to
wonderful,
find.
wonderful story of Barbie. And then we have all of the early clothes, the original ones. You like the gay Parisian? Oh my, that
Yes,
is
all
a
these
fabulous.
classic outfits.
And all of those early pieces
at
from the early 60s, which is just
Very
a fashion.
early 60s.
It's just a fashion parade within itself to see these beautiful suits like Jackie Kennedy used to wear. and so forth.
Phenomenal. Barbie hit the scene on, I believe, March 3rd, 1959 at the New York Toy Fair, and the world was forever changed. Look at these incredible Barbies. Now, I'm gonna stop looking over to my right because I see a Barbie mannequin and I am about to lose my mind. I have only heard that they exist, but I have never seen one in person.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yes.
they are kind of hard to find because they sued them immediately when they came out.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Of course, Skipper was Barbie's little sister, and so we have the whole Skipper
Oh, you have
line
a
up
store
there.
display. Look, everybody, look at that store display in the back. Those are extremely
Oh.
hard to find.
They are so beautiful. Of course, you can't forget little Kittles.
Well, Little Kittles, they were produced by Mattel.
Oh, yes.
Some of the same artists.
Late 60s,
Yeah.
yes. Very popular. So we have the whole story of Barbie in here, even the 17-inch, which they didn't produce but for 1 year because it didn't go over. But there, of course, you see. I
Okay,
know you're
so
looking
this
at
is,
that.
and she is in incredible condition. Look at this, everybody. This is the 6-foot-tall Barbie mannequin. I am vapor locking right now. She is phenomenal. So tell us about her history.
Well, when I first opened the museum in 1964, I knew that someday I would have Barbie Land. And of course, I only had a few Barbies at that time, so I kept looking. But this happened to be advertised in a newspaper, 6-foot Barbie, and I thought, oh, I'm going to get that for my Barbie Land. Well, thank God I ordered it, because immediately they took it off of the market. Because
God, you did.
not have it sanctioned through Mattel.
For
It
reference,
wasn't licensed, yeah.
that's how tall she is. She's 6 foot tall. She wasn't licensed by Mattel. She's phenomenal.
I know it. I love her.
I
Everybody
love her.
just, the guys go goo-goo in here. When I tell them I have a 6-foot Barbie, they can't believe it until they see it.
We are losing our minds. This is so cool.
And just a lot of other fun things in there, like Miss 17 or something, and the Truly Scrumptious, and all kinds of fun stuff in there.
So many fun things.
Oh, I love that.
Henrietta, this is just
Can you
this is just
believe?
the best. No, I cannot.
I can't believe somebody would save all those little pieces. That
And
is
they're in
just
beautiful
something
condition.
else. Of course, Barbie had so many toys. She had the boat and the campers and an airplane, and you name it, she had everything.
She was spoiled.
She was spoiled, yes.
Barbie had it all. She did it all. She taught girls and boys that they can do anything.
Of course, Ken, there he is as the pilot of the plane. He was the one that had the flopped hair, the fuzzy hair, which you usually see all worn off when you see the old Kens. It's hard to find one like that.
It sure is.
And then, of course, we do have the Francies in there as well. A lot of the other Barbies. And, of course, Francie was a doll. I remember watching a television show one time, and Vanna White said, when I grew up, I had a Francie doll, and I just loved it, and I don't have it anymore. So would you know, like a dummy, I sent her one. And she was so nice that if you see a little letter up there on top of that case, she wrote me a little letter back and thanked me for it. So, of course, I always have liked her. She's one of my favorite television personalities. All the Tooties and Todds up there.
Tootie and Todd and Little Kittle, and you have all of the boxes. Look at all the boxes.
Hundreds of them, yes. Every time I find a different one, I try to stick it up there somewhere, but I can't
And they're in
even believe
beautiful
they made that
condition.
many
Every different kind
kinds.
of box. Yes.
Amazing. And of course, we have her first dream house, and we have.
There's the sleep-eyed Barbie.
Yes, isn't she different?
She is very different.
And of course, her early pieces were all made out of cardboard. So the French, the little shopping plaza up there is all cardboard, just as the little theater set is down below.
Look at this. That theater. Look at that.
And those are the costumes, there was 4 different outfits that was sold with the theater set, and we have them all in here. Guinevere, Aladdin, of course, Red Riding Hood, and way back here on the far right side, you will see Cinderella and Prince Charming. They're kind of hiding in there.
This theater is fantastic. Everything in this room is amazing. This is the coolest Barbie collection I have ever seen. Hands down. You have a wonderful Barbie room. And what did you call it? Barbie Land?
Barbie Land.
Love
Yes,
Barbie
yes.
Land.
Yes, and for girls who grew up with Barbie, oh my, they just love this room.
Oh, I'm sure. When you get exhausted, do you think about the joy that this brings to so many people?
That's my payment, is when people say how much they've enjoyed the museum. That's what makes me feel so good.
Wonderful.
Now, of course, we're going to sneak around the corner here to our very last room, believe it or not, which I call the 20th Century Room. So as you walk into that room, on your right, you will see more Shirley Temples, the Shirley Temple babies, as I do love Shirley Temple dolls.
Wow.
A lot of the personalities in there.
Oh my gosh, there is It's like they're giving everybody a standing ovation. Look at again, another Shirley Patty Play Pal. Now this is an exceptionally rare doll. What is her name again?
Oh, that's Sherry Lewis.
Sherry Lewis. She's very rare.
Yeah, that's by Madame Alexander.
Fabulous
and that's her
doll.
little lamb chops there too.
Love it. This is just magnificent. Our viewers are just tuning in and just taking it all in right along with us. Here's more Shirley's.
Babies.
There's a Shirley baby, so
I
cute.
love the Shirley babies. They're kind of hard to find
They
in
are.
that condition. And again, it's this room, you can't look anywhere without seeing something spectacular. I love our little Cabbage Patch display up there on top with on top of this case, Rachel, with the large...
Look at that. Look at the little Cabbage Patch dolls.
and that wheelbarrow.
And the RV. And we're going to look inside this case.
Yeah, I call this the boys' room.
Oh, God, I love the boys' room.
Got so many fun things in here that the boys remember. You've got, of course, what's it, Indiana Jones. And just so many fun things.
Henrietta, you've been working so hard doing this. What would you like to say to the world or to your fans or to people that are watching that might be afraid to start collecting or don't know where to start, or they're not sure on what to do, because you've done this and you've built so much, and you grew up without dolls, and now you have this amazing collection, and you've been working so hard.
I think that's why you see such an amazing collection, is because I didn't have a favorite. You know, many people have a favorite type of doll, and that's kind of like all they collect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since I had a blank mind when it comes to dolls, I was going for the history.
Mm-hmm.
And everything from different parts of the history is what is so important. I use doll encyclopedias and doll books to find and to focus on the most rare of our dolls.
Mm-hmm.
So when people come in, they are not just looking at a bunch of dolls. They are looking at the entire history of dolls throughout the ages, from the 1700s down through, as I say, Barbie Land. And so it is just an experience of educational, cultural, and historical significance. I just love it when people really can appreciate what they see.
Oh, Henrietta.
You know, it's getting kind of, quiet these days.
Oh no, it's not quiet. It's just hard to get to sometimes.
Yes.
But you have just shown your collection to people around the world. And if you guys can comment and say how wonderful it was that Henrietta let us in here and let our cameras share all of this with you, you can see more of the museum on her website and also on their Facebook page. You're open almost every day.
4 days a week.
4 days a week.
Wednesday through Saturday, 11 to 4:30. And
you host birthday parties and private groups and
yes. Oh yeah. We love groups. Oh my.
Groups.
All kinds of I love to do the tours for them because they just they love it, and I encourage questions, and they ask very, very good questions too. So it's fun.
It is so fun.
Just fun.
Carolyn Clay just said, "What town is she near?" I know you're sort of by Wilmington, but what's the closest, biggest town?
Well, we are actually a suburb of Columbus.
You're a suburb of
Yeah.
Columbus. You guys, you can fly right into
Yes.
Columbus.
Yeah, we are only about 25 minutes from the airport, and we're just at the southeast corner of Columbus.
This is not, I love all kinds of museums, but this is a museum that you should travel from other countries to see, let alone having this right in the United States. Take a plane, train, or an automobile and come and see this wonderful museum. Get your doll club together. Henrietta would love to give you guys a guided private tour of what we just had, and you guys can experience this, and it has just been phenomenal. Henrietta, thank you so much.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
You've been a very good host.
This was wonderful.
I appreciate you being here.
We loved it. The video will stay live, and we will upload it to YouTube, and please share it, and we're going to give it to the museum, and we're just so excited to be here. So happy dolling, everybody.
Thank you and goodbye. Thanks for visiting the museum.
Thank you.